Hi guys, welcome to Andrea Pro YouTube channel. In this channel, we post tutorials that are very detailed, beginner friendly and very easy to understand. So in today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to cut and sew this beautiful pencil skirt you see here with a side ruffle. So if you are interested and you want to know how this was achieved, please keep watching. And if today is your first time on this channel, please click on the subscribe button and also on notification bell so you get notified whenever I post a new video. And also don't forget to drop a like and a comment. For this tutorial, I'm going to be using the chiffon fabric you see here to make the pencil skirt with the side ruffle, and I'll be adding a lining to the skirt, but it is optional. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to fold my fabric, and when folding, I went ahead to fold both the front and the back at the same time. And when folding your fabric, you'll be folding using your hip divided by 4 plus your sewing allowance. I also went ahead to add a zipper allowance to the center back, a zipper allowance of 1.5 inch on this center back. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to start inserting my measurements, but before then I'll be drawing a straight horizontal line at the top of my fabric like you see me doing in the video. So this line I'm drawing at this point is going to serve as the waistline and also as the starting point for my measurement. After drawing the line, the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert my waist measurement on the line I just drew. So I'll go ahead to insert my waist divided by 4, and I'll be starting my measurement from the front block alone, not from the back, but from the front block. I'll be taking all my measurement from the front block. So next I'm going to go ahead to insert my waist measurement on the waistline. I'll be marking my waist divided by 4 on the waistline. After marking it, I'll go ahead to add 1 inch to it because I'll be adding a dart to the skirt. So this 1 inch is for the darts. After marking the 1 inch, I'll be adding my sewing allowance of 1.5 inch. So next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to insert my vertical measurement, which is the waist to the hip depth. I'll go ahead to mark it, then I'll go ahead to measure my waist to 2 inch above the nail, not on the nail directly but 2 inch above the nail. Next I'm going to go ahead to insert the full length of the skirt at this point. So I'm marking the full length of the skirt plus 1 inch because I'll be adding a lining, but if you're not adding a lining to yours, you'll be needing 1.5 inch for the hemming allowance. So after marking this point, next I'm going to go ahead to do is to draw a straight horizontal line at this point with my ruler like this. After drawing the straight horizontal line, the next I'm going to go ahead to do is to insert my hip measurement on the hip line. So I'm going to go ahead to divide my hip by 4 and mark. After marking, I'll be adding a sewing allowance of 1.5 inch on the side like this. Next, I'll move over to the nail. For the nail, I'm going to go ahead to minus 6 from my hip measurement. So my hip is 38 minus 6 is 32, and I'll be dividing the 32 by 4. I'll go ahead to insert it on this nail line. So if you want it to be more pencil, you can go ahead to minus 8 depending on how fitted you want it to be at the nail. So I'm going to go ahead to mark that on the nail line, and I'll also mark my sewing allowance of 1.5 inch. I'll go ahead to mark the same thing I mark on the nail on the hem line like you see me doing in the video. After marking this point, I'm going to go ahead to connect the waist to the hip depth to the nail, and the nail to the hem using my ruler like you see me doing in the video. So after connecting the sides together, this is what it is going to look like. The next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut it out. So after cutting, this is what we are going to be having. Next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to cut out my lining and attach it to the skirt. If you're not adding a lining to yours, you can go ahead to skip this process, but I'll be adding a lining to this fabric I'm using. I'll go ahead to cut out the lining and attach it to the skirt, after which I'll come back to show you what to do next. I went ahead to cut out my lining and attach it to the skirt, and this is what it is going to look like after attaching it to the skirt. I also went ahead to sew in the waist dart on the skirt. I did the same thing for the back of the skirt. So here I have the back of the skirt. I added my lining to the back of the skirt, and I also went ahead to sew in the waist dart on the back of the skirt. So this is what you are going to be having. So the next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to attach the side ruffle to the skirt, and in doing that I went ahead to cut this long strip you see here. So the width of the strip you see here is 4 inch after folding one side of the strip. So I went ahead to fold this part of the strip while the other part is not folded. So you can cut as long as you want depending on how full you want the ruffle to be, and I'll be attaching it to the side of the skirt. I'm going to be attaching it to this side and also to the other side of the skirt. So before attaching the ruffle to the skirt, the first thing I'm going to go ahead to do is to mark my sewing allowance on the side. So the sewing allowance that I added to the skirt is 1.25 inch. I'm going to go ahead to mark the 1.25 inch all the way down, after which I'll connect the points together like you see me doing in the video. So I went ahead to mark the sewing allowance on this side. I'll be repeating the same thing on the other side also. The next I'm going to go ahead to do now is to attach this strip to it. When placing the strip, you make sure that the good face is facing your fabric like this. Then you go ahead to start pleating it on the side like this. When pleating it, you are going to be starting 1 inch away from the waistline, and also you'll be hemming this part of the strip. You need to hem this part to eliminate all the rough edges at that point. Then you start pleating 1 inch away from the waistline. So you're going to go ahead to pleat it all the way down. I'm going to go over my sewing machine to quickly do this. After doing that, I'll repeat the same process on the other side. Then I'll come back to show you what to do next. After adding the ruffle to the skirt, this is what it is going to look like. I also went ahead to give it a good press, and this is what I have. This is what the other side of the skirt is going to look like. As you can see, it's coming out beautiful already. So the next thing I'm going to go ahead to do now is to join the back to the front of the skirt, and in doing that, first you go ahead to place the ruffle inward like this. So you make sure that the ruffle is inward like this so that you don't sew on it. After pushing it inward, the next thing you're going to go ahead to do is to place the back panel of the skirt on it like this. So here I have the back panel of the skirt. I've gone ahead to close up the center part. This part here is going to be for the zipper, and here I have the slit. So you're going to go ahead to arrange it like you see me doing in the video, making sure that your ruffles are inside. So I'm making a pencil gown. I'm not going to be showing you how to couple the skirt, but if you are making a skirt, all you'll be doing at this point is to go ahead to close up the side of the skirt. After closing up the side of the skirt, you go ahead to add your waistband to the skirt and fix your zipper to the skirt. But for me, I'm making a pencil gown, so I'm going to go ahead to attach the upper bodies of the gown to this skirt, after which I'll close up the side and finish up the dress. Then I'll come back to show you the final look of the gown. So here we have the final look of the skirt, looking so beautiful and very lovely. I went ahead to attach my upper bodies to it, and this is what it looks like. So if this video was helpful to you, please don't forget to drop a like and a comment. And if you're yet to subscribe to the channel, please click on the subscribe button. Thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next tutorial.